Y'all thought I was finished? Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? It's your host Port City Ace, and today we got my guy back for the second time. Last time we had some technical difficulties. This time we don't. All right, it's my guy King Ron. What's going on, buddy? What's happening
Now
with
just now just chilling, man. You know how we do, man. Just
it?
out here chilling, man.
Hey, for those that missed the first go around, basically, right? Of course, as you can see, he's a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and it kind of worked out for both of us in the fact that we both in our conference championships, and we both can kind of talk about our teams because we talked about this a few weeks ago. We were like, hey, we get here, I'm gonna bring you back, and we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about it. So then guess what? We're gonna talk about it. You feel me?
Oh
So
yeah,
let's get into it, man. Pat Mahomes, man, he hurt.
yeah, man. If I put faith in anybody, is him, man.
It's Pat.
The fact that he could, and we all know how adrenaline runs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but the fact that he could come back and play in the second half, because he came back on the field and they didn't let him play when he came back on the field. So I'm thinking like, oh, you know what? He's not gonna come back because that's Pat Mahomes to go to the conference championship. If he's on the sideline with his helmet, that means he cleared to go back in the game.
Right.
So if they don't put him back in, when he didn't come back and he didn't finish the half off, I was like, oh, defense or something. We got to do something to hold off. He's not coming back. So when he came back into the game, we all know what makes him special is his off skill plays, like off broken plays, running around.
Right.
So I like him as a pocket passer, but that gives him like an advantage to being able to do that and throw it accurately when he do that stuff.
Yeah.
So when he came back in, I knew he was limping and everything or whatever, but long as we can keep him upright and he can throw, like I'll take that Patrick Mahomes over probably only 3 or 4 quarterbacks I'll take right now
Over Patrick.
over him
Like
being in the
being-
state that he in right now.
Right.
Maybe 5, 6, depending on what you like. But so when the fact that he came back in the second half on a high ankle sprain, and like I said, he hurt it in the second quarter. The halftime had already went by, so he got time to like his adrenaline ain't pumping like that because he had to sit for a while.
Mhm.
So when he came back after the half, and then he went like 10 for 14 in the second half, touchdown, 100 and something yards, like that's enough for us to win if he can do that. With the week off, I think it's better.
Yeah, so by him having a high ankle sprain, as they basically said, right? Like I know Jordan Davis, of course, he played for the Eagles, and he's a 350-pound man, right? And he was out for like 5 weeks. The Dallas game just now with the 49ers, Pollard actually broke his leg for the same kind of fall, guys fall on his leg or whatever. So like for him to finish that game, he's tough, he's competitive, he want to win, he want to play. But at the same time, sometimes injuries, you think you're helping, but then sometimes it ends up hurting the team in a sense too, right? But luckily for him, the team that y'all played, Jacksonville, they're a good team, but they're still an up and coming team. Now that the question is what will Kansas City do in regards to protecting him, considering the fact that you guys going to see the Bengals this week, and the Bengals basically, for the most part, the only team that basically got y'all number for the most part. You get what I'm saying? And some of the blitzes that they brought, even though I don't know if the fact that it was snowing and they just kind of like blended in with the snow, what was going on, but they was giving Josh Allen that work this week. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Andy Reid's going to keep another blocker in. I don't know if he's going to keep Travis Kelce in a little bit more to block because they're going to bring some fire. You know what I'm saying? So as far as you, if you were the coach, how would you try to protect your quarterback?
Yeah. And the good thing about that, and it's a couple things in regards to like the blitzing and stuff and us playing the Bengals and protecting them. The first thing that I like as far as before we get to protection is Patrick Mahomes had this same exact injury in 2019 and didn't miss any game. Not trying to say high ankle, it's the same injury, but it's not on his plant. The difference is on his left leg, not his right leg. So his right leg is plant foot, so that may be a difference. And the only thing that got me some optimism outside of him coming back into the game, Andy Reid called it the tweak. So it can be a high ankle sprain, but it may be not to the seriousness of a very high ankle sprain. Like it's still an ankle sprain, but you're like, he tweaked the ankle. Like so, a tweak makes it a little bit better for me of giving him a week off to try to get it to somewhat. Thirdly, Josh Allen is a great quarterback when it comes to reading defenses. I think him and Patrick Mahomes are a little different on that. And since Patrick Mahomes came into this league, and this year he's the #1 quarterback against the blitz. Actually, I prefer them blitzing because when you blitz, he don't run around, like he read and throw the ball. So instead of him dropping back and he getting the 4 and then he got to run around and do something blitzing, you got to make a hot read or you got to throw it kind of quick. So I kind of actually like that, being that he reads the blitz well. And I like Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. But the Bengals only got 29 sacks all year. So if it's not like we playing the Eagles to where like, oh shit, they got like 4 people got like 9, 10 sacks, which is 4 people.
Give my people these sacks now.
Oh man, you know what I'm saying? So just with more protection, you might see a little bit more Jerick McKinnon because he's our best. Pacheco is nice, but he's our best passing block. That's the passing back. That's the only thing I see Andy doing differently is keeping McKinnon in, and you may see a little bit more screens. Even though we know Andy loves to run the screen, but you may see a little bit more of them, little short stuff. Like that's why I like Kadarius Toney. You can throw him a screen and maybe he make 1 or 2 people miss and turn it into something or whatever. So I don't think the protection go, and we #1 too. Offensive line win rate in the league passing wise. So that's what gives me optimism.
Because all he do is damn throw the ball to Travis Kelce, which don't make no sense to me. I don't understand it, but okay. Like I don't understand how Travis Kelce is always this damn open. Like if I'm another team, I'm literally blitzing from Travis Kelce's side just to make sure that he don't go out on a route. Like even if you run into him and you ain't even trying to move him, it's just the fact that you just run into him and you just stand in front of him. I'm cool with that. I just don't want him to, even if you're still giving Patrick Mahomes an extra second or 2 to find somebody else a little bit deeper downfield, right? But I'm not going to die 1,000 cuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing that. No. I'm not letting you get this 6, 7, 8 yards. Then you can break out one for about 30, then another 4, 5 yard. No, I'm not doing that. I'd rather him have to find somebody else. If Tony got to beat me, I'm fine with that. Juju got to beat me, I'm fine with that. Valdez-Scantling beat me, I'm fine with that. But this guy right here, he is not going to beat me. I don't give a damn what happened in life. He ain't going to beat me. He's not. It's crazy the way I've been seeing people play, y'all. And going back to the injuries, right? So, like, we all know what Jalen Hurts been kind of going through in regards to his shoulder, basically roughly a month ago, within the last month. And the fact that Patrick Mahomes just kind of hurt himself as well. I really feel like that injury for us hurt Jalen Hurts for the MVP. And now I feel like that really, for the most part, you never want somebody to get an injury, but Patrick Mahomes' injury really kind of more or less, even though he didn't miss no time for it, but I'm saying like he didn't miss any time with his injury, right? And so my point of bringing that up is both our quarterbacks were hurt. And like I said, we still don't really know what the extent of Patrick Mahomes is. Like I said, adrenaline rush. It might be a tweak. We're not still 100% sure. But the way how my guy look against the Giants, I think he back. I really think he back, man. And the thing about it was not just the fact of him being back, but the fact of the matter is like I don't think that his shoulder was as bad as we were putting it off. I felt like we thought that we could win one of our last 3 games with the backup quarterback, right? And we just wanted him just kind of get some rest. And then we had to buy, of course. So we just wanted to get a little bit more rest on that shoulder. But I felt like we were putting on in regards to how bad it was, you know what I'm saying, and everything else, right? So the Bengals, how do you feel about y'all playing the Bengals this go around? What would you like to see different from the last 3 games, the last 3 times that they beat y'all, right?
I'll speak more specific. Well, I'll speak on all 3 of them. And I'll be honest, and I hate to say this a lot too, because there's a lot of time when your team lose, a lot of people go to this excuse. But the 2 games in Cincinnati, the regular season game last year and the regular season game this year, I really thought we got some unfavorable calls on some big plays. Like, you make a lot more plays. Like, you can't just look at and say, okay, well, you still ran 70 other more plays. Like, so that one play didn't cost you the game, but it kind of wasn't that. Like, I kind of felt like in the In the game last year, we got a couple of pass interference calls that were really with some BS. And we got interceptions off both of those calls into where it was called PI. And then they went down and scored 2 touchdowns on. The game this year, once again, we got another interception. We got a fumble recovery, and it was like, some BS holding call, BS penalty calls at which turned it back over. Then they got touchdowns on both of those too. But the main thing I think we want to do different this year, because I think we played terrible in the first game this year. And our defense missed a bunch of tackles. I mean, a ton of tackles. And not leaving like Jamar Chase, he's being special, making them miss them, like regular, like wrap-up tackles.
Run through tackles, yeah.
I'm like, yo, like what's going on? And then if you look at the stats, we one of the best teams at not missing tackles. So I think that that kept a few drives going. And I really think what turned it over, we was up by 7, with the ball on the other side of the 50, going to score again and get the ball at halftime right before the half. And Travis Kelce try to make a play. He gets stripped, fumble. They go down, score a touchdown. And so that kind of swing. So things that usually don't happen. I'm not trying to say Travis Kelce can't never fumble. He won't fumble again. But he even said at the end of the game, like, I don't do that. I usually just go straight down or whatever. And just the competitiveness in that, listen to Frank Clark and all my other guys. And a lot of people don't know this. And I'm a big Frank Clark, man, you ain't did nothing since our Super Bowl year type thing. Whatever. This man passed Reggie White in playoff sacks last game. See, a lot of people don't like it. It's like when the playoff coming and we had a bunch of pressures last game, we can get pressure with for. Y'all the only team in the NFL that got more sacks than us. So we second the league in sacks. I think we can get pressure, and I think we'll wrap up better. Like Chris Jones even said, like, especially in the playoff game. I had 3 sacks on Burrow last year, but I didn't wrap up because for one, I didn't want a penalty for one, and for two, I just lackluster. So I just think we see him against them to not to take any credit from them, because a lot of people say, well, that's the defense making you do that. But it's the stuff that the self-inflicted mistakes that we make that seem to be like more when we play the Bengals. I don't know if it's psychological, like, oh shit, they got our number or whatever, but I think this time around we'll clean that up. And
Gotcha. So of course, you know, we beat the Giants. We beat the hell out of the Giants. We just didn't beat the Giants. We beat the hell out of the Giants. And Dallas just lost to the 49ers in a really actually, I think it was one of the better playoff games I actually seen the Cowboys play outside of Dak, right? Defensively, they actually went toe-to-toe with the 49ers and got the touchdown, got the extra point block, and all this other kind of stuff that kind of like – it just was an odd game that it really didn't kind of fall in their favor, right? But they still had chances to win that game. Still, I feel like, you know what I'm saying? So how do you feel about the 49ers versus Eagles matchup this week?
You know this, we talked about this off camera before. I picked the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl. Before I even bet one of our good friends, Gob, that like I bet you $100 that they would just go to the Super Bowl, not to win, but they'll go to the Super Bowl. And just to be quite frankly honest, when I was watching the Eagles game, I was like, thought Jalen Hurts would have, even though the Giants still the playoffs. I don't think the Giants are the toughest team, but they got a person in Dexter Lawrence who is only Chris Jones have the most pressures by DT. Matter of fact, no, I take that back. He got more pressures than Chris Jones. He got like 2 more, like quarterback hurries and pressures. So they have a formidable like line with Thibodeau and a lot of the guys there. So they have a decent like front 4, even though your offensive line is good too. I just didn't see Jalen Hurts doing them like that. I picked y'all to win the game, but I'm 38, which I won 38-7 or something like that. Like
38-7. Yeah. So so what people fail to realize is the last game of the season, when we ended up beating them 22 to like 16 or whatever that score was, right? We kicked 5 field goals, right? Yeah. Now, if it wasn't like, because they didn't play anybody basically, you know what I'm saying? So if they played their starters, I feel like we would have actually been on the gas a lot more to try to score, right? But we just did enough just to get out the game. But it was a couple times where if it was a regular season and it was a lot like that was riding on it, we would actually push to try to go get them points. Like the points were there for us to get, you know what I'm saying? And we just like, nah, we just kick a field goal. We already up, 13, and we already up 3 possessions already. We just kind of kick the field goal, you know what I'm saying? And that game could have been another 30, 40 point game for us as well. You get what I'm saying? So I think when everybody watched us play them week 18 and then they saw them play Minnesota, everybody was like, oh no, they might can get the Eagles this time. I'm like, y'all really ain't been watching sports. Like Minnesota won that division, but Minnesota probably won, and I hate to say this as well. You win the games you win, right? But Josh Allen fumble on the one, like this crazy, like little stupid stuff like that. He Justin Jefferson caught that ball. Like it just was a lot of little crazy stuff in between. And like to say that they were at one point the number 2 team, they I don't think that they beat anybody in our division except for I want to say the Giants, I believe. But their point differential was different. Like when they won, they might have won by like 1 or 2 points, maybe a field goal, but they was getting blown out when they lost. You know what I'm saying? Like beat to death. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of people saw the Giants beat them, and people don't understand like Minnesota secondary was like one of the worst secondaries ever, like period. You know what I'm saying? And so for Daniel Jones to throw for 300 yards in that game, he's only thrown for 300 yards 3 times, 2 of them against Minnesota. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The other one against the Lions, who don't have a defense, but they got a hell of an offense, but they don't have a defense. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you look at the rest of the hit numbers, you take those games out, it's really pedestrian at the end of the day, right? So I think a lot of people kind of overlooked us, and people are overlooking us all year. It's fine. I understand it. I'm cool with it at this point. But I think for us, this matchup with the 49ers, it's going to be a tough game, but I think when it's all said and done, their defense hasn't played an offense like ours as of yet. You get what I'm saying? Like they haven't played a real mobile quarterback that can actually really throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like Jalen Hurts has the most. I told you this earlier. Like people don't understand. Like Jalen Hurts has thrown the ball in regards to like completions downfield and airing the ball out more than any other quarterback in the league. Period. You know what I'm saying? So I want them to because all they gonna rush for anyways. They're gonna rush for and they're gonna play their zones behind it. But I think by Jalen Hurts being able to pull the ball and hold that backside is gonna give Miles some cutback lanes and some other things. So I think when it comes down to it, we can keep them on the sideline if we need to, just running the ball down their throat. Or if they want to bring pressure, we got AJ, we got Devontae, we got this person, we got that. So I just don't see how we lose to them in regards to them outplaying us. Now, if they outcoach us, if it's just coaching decisions, I might give that edge to them, right? Which kind of sound kind of counterintuitive, right? But man for man across the board, I'll take my men over theirs in man for man. I think I'll take my guys man for man. You know what I'm saying? So, what do you think about Brock Purdy, though? How you feel about it?
I was just going to say that I'm not sure if you told me this stat or somebody else told me this stat. That's why my confidence level, like, say if I was when I told you I bet that the 49ers would go to the Super Bowl, say if that was at a level 8 confidence level, is that now that they're playing y'all, is that like a 6? If it was Dallas again, like not Dallas, but the Giants, of course, it's still been to the roof, but you guys, it may be like at a 6. So now it's like teetering because like I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if you told me this, but he didn't face a top 10 or top tier defense the entire time he played. Right? No. And even though he made plays in the Dallas game, you could kind of tell that they bothered him a little bit.
Yeah.
So he really didn't get shaken towards like the third quarter or something. That big play through the Kittle and that kind of got him rolling. So I like him, but I just have to see again. I say he's in the perfect system to do that, so we don't have to lean on just him. The defense making, like if he make a turnover, the defense maybe can get the ball back, or if he can give it to Christian McCaffrey or a Debo or something, maybe they can get him down the field. And he had to make certain plays instead of driving all the way down the field.
Right. Yeah. I felt good in watching the Dallas game because Dallas really isn't known to stop the run because they're one of the like smaller fronts, basically, right? Size-wise. They do blitz a little bit more than a lot of other teams, but as far as the actual front, and they really stopped the 49ers rushing the ball early in the game, and the 49ers didn't really kind of start running pretty decent until later on in the game. But I think with the guys that we have up front and the rotation that we have, I mean, it's hard to say that we can stop them for 100 yards, but if we can keep them under, I'll say 115, I feel good about it. I really feel good about it because everything that they do is off of play action. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if we push in the pocket in the middle, and getting some pressure up the middle, it really destroys the whole play because they always got somebody coming in motion this way. They always got somebody running that way. They motion 3-4 times before they hike the ball. You get what I'm saying? So as long as we can get pressure up the middle, and as long as we can put some kind of pressure in his face or stop the run. Now, if he throw for 400 yards, 300 yards, and beat us, you know what I'm saying? Congratulations, right? But I don't want him to be able to run the ball and then he can just come off these play actions, dump it to the flats, first down. Nah, I want you to throw this ball 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. I want to take away all these little inside slants. If you want to give them the outside, I'm cool with that. Only thing is, I never liked our defense in regards to how we play because it's a little bit too passive for me. Like we play off coverage, and we do have our cornerbacks kind of sitting on routes a lot as well. But people just get used to doing slant, and they go slant you to death until you put your hands on them and you come down. So what I want us to do personally is bring a little bit more pressure, and let Purdy have to beat us and do the same thing that the Kittle that I'm not gonna let. No, I'm not letting Kittle do this to me. Like I want to go ahead and play him and have somebody over the top of him, so that way if he block you, I'm fine with that block. Just don't let him block you, fake you out, and then go up the field. Like, no, we can't have that happen. But I feel good about us though. I really feel like we got a real good chance of getting to the Super Bowl, not just getting there, but winning as well. Because even if let's just say y'all win and we win, right? I feel good about us playing y'all as well because of our defense, just because of the front. You get what I'm saying? We don't have to blitz, right? We are like bottom half, bottom third of blitzing teams, and so I feel good about us if we had to play y'all. Do I want to play Patrick Mahomes? You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie to you. Be like, yeah, bring Patrick Mahomes on, right?
Yeah.
But the other problem is I feel like Joe Burrow got a little bit more of a complete team than y'all do. Out now, and it's gonna sound crazy. Outside of the offensive line, right? Of course, the offensive line is a big, huge thing. I know, right? It sounds crazy, but I feel like they are a better overall team, and you guys, of course, are just Pat centric, right? Y'all literally, the same thing in regards to Buffalo. That's why I think Buffalo had such a hard time because it's Josh Allen or die, basically, at the end of the day. Like, they don't have the running game to where they can kind of more or less lean on. But Pacheco been running the ball pretty strong too, though, for y'all. So I don't know, man. I think y'all gonna win. I really believe y'all gonna win. But at the same time, Joe Cool tough though.
Yeah.
Joe Cool is tough. Like, I don't know. Like you said, I don't know if it's the fact of he just has y'all number, or it's just a mental thing and y'all just be kind of getting bad breaks in spots. So it's in regards to coaching wise, right? Big Red is Big Red. Big Red gonna do Big Red do. But how do you feel about coaching? Like, what would be your defensive game plan against Cincinnati? Like what would you do defensively to try to disrupt with everything that they got on that side of the field?
And the way we've been playing defense against them, even in the 3 games, like the first game we lost, they scored like 20, and they had to kick a 23 to kick a field goal. The second game we lost in the AFC Championship, they scored 27, had to kick a field goal in overtime to get it 27, and the last game we lost, they scored 24. So it ain't like we're giving up a ton of points. Mm-hmm. But what I don't like about Spags is that he leaves the corners one-on-one all the time.
Right. Yeah.
So if you notice when we just scored a touchdown, it's not like I thought it's a bomb down the field because you got Chase on a 7th-round rookie, and like he don't mind what they are, he's going to leave him out there. Even though the rookie made an interception against the Chargers that game and ran it all the way back, and he made an interception. Then I like Trent McDuffie a lot though, like our number 1 pick. He missed the first 6-7 games of the season, but since he's been back, there's only been 2 corners with a high PFF grade than him, like in cover. Yeah, I just don't like that per se so much.
Right.
Leaving them one-on-one so much because that's how they score it. All of their touchdowns be one-on-one bombs. It's very rarely like because we have people don't know we have a decent run defense. And it's just one-on-one stuff. So, but I don't. Spag's not going to change that right now. He ain't going to change the stripes right now. Even though he may throw a wrinkle into it or whatever. That's the only thing I don't like. Like you and Jamar Chase will be on a 7th-round rookie from Fayetteville State, Jalen Williams.
Right.
And they will leave him by himself. I'm like, do we not know this is one of the best receivers in football? Like,
put your damn arms up because that would be a touchdown player. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So just because, like I said, consider the fact that is a championship week. And this would be, if you guys were to win, this would be Patrick Mahomes' third Super Bowl, third appearance, and this is his 5th AFC championship game, right?
Yeah, 5 straight.
That's tough. That's tough. I saw something else to where it said Big Red is the first coach to ever have 10 playoff wins with 2 different organizations too. That's tough as well. But if we see Big Red, man, hey, I love him, but we got to do him.
This is why I got optimism with us, right? First of all, we see y'all on the phone. Hey, Big Red. They thought you was through.
Hey, oh God.
They let you, they didn't want no more to do with you. So, let's go get that. And the second thing, what I like most on a serious note, if you look at Patrick Mahomes' numbers against number 1 defenses in his career, and he faced number 1 defense, or number 3 defense or better, and number 1 defense twice this year at one point. His passer rating is like a 98. His yards per game is like 311, and his interception to touchdown ratio is like 14-2. So even against number 1 defenses, he's still like his production numbers drop.
Right.
So I like that. Not trying to say, of course, because even like I looked at in the 49ers game when we played the Super Bowl, the number 1 defense, we only had 10 points going into the 4th quarter. Of course, we proceeded to score 21 in 7 minutes, but it just like he could be slowed down, but I just feel like he'll find a way to figure it out eventually. Like so, and then the only problem I say I'll have with y'all, right, is say if he can't, like when he scramble, you can tell like he limping or whatever. Like that's the only problem I'm gonna have, because if you guys rush like that, because you want to rush 4. So Andy, when you rush 4, Andy run verticals and the man or whatever, and then the quarterback have a chance to take off sometime. Yeah. But if he can't do that, that's gonna be a problem.
Man. I got some dogs over here, man. My guy Reddick, he don't get the love. He don't get none of the like adulation, no nothing. Like for him to be the number 2 sack guy, only behind Bosa, right? He don't get like no national like recognition, nothing. Like it's kind of crazy to me. And he's done this with 3 different teams. Like it ain't like this just his first year. And he's just kind of out here doing what he's doing right now. Like that's a dog over there. You know what I'm saying? So even the last game, like he was wreaking havoc, but that's what he do though. You know what I'm saying? And on the other side, we just got Sweat back. So like I feel good with the pass rushes. I feel good with my whole entire defensive line, because our linebacker, we don't have great linebackers, right? I think that they're a little bit better than average, but that defensive line, our team is built off the defensive line and offensive line. Like we're looking to be in the top 5 always. Like our drafts are always going to be offensive line, defensive line, or some big person somewhere on one of those 2 lines, right? Because we prefer to build from the inside out. And so that's the one thing I feel like, man, if Patrick Mahomes really isn't as mobile, and of course, like you never expect him to run. Of course he can, right? And he always kind of catch you when it's kind of a back-breaking run. It ain't like a Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts run where it's like kind of consistent. You're kind of waiting for it, kind of sort of in a sense, right? Now Pat will mess around and catch you with a 15-yard first down, and it's like 3rd and 12 kind of run. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I think if we were to see y'all, I think that we do have the offense and the defense to really kind of combat a lot of what y'all do, because I mean, what's the best thing to do for a quarterback? Keep on the sideline, right? When you know that dude on the other side can just come out here, look around, and just dot your ass up, you could go ahead and just run the ball, keep him on the sideline, hope and pray that he slip up or they go 3 and out, or some kind of way where they punt the ball, or you just get the ball back, or turnover, whatever it is, you just get the ball back, and now you get the ball again on a 6-7 play drive, but you got to score 7. Well, that's the thing. It don't make sense taking 35 minutes and you only got damn 15 points. Like, you're gonna lose that game. You know what I'm saying? So, so what are the weaknesses that you feel like that the Eagles have? Like, what if you were on the other side, coaching against the Eagles? Like, what are your coaching plans that you would try to stop the Eagles?
I would try to. The first thing, the best defense, our best defense is our offense. The first thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can get to like, and I hate to keep going back to just like the 49ers, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we played in the Super Bowl. Once we got to the point to where we wasn't worried about the RPO or nothing, and we just throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I always like this and say, well, if it ever come down to my quarterback versus yours, unless it's Joe Burrow or Tom Brady, people who I've seen like beat him before, I'm gonna take that 10 times out of 10. Like,
right.
And then, like I said, our pass rush is pretty decent with the 4 also too. Of course, you go with Jalen, you got to account for him running the ball. But my thing is, when you're playing with you guys, like, just stop. Best, just try to make you one dimensional. Stop the run. I think we like 4th or 5th in the league against the run. A lot of that comes from people being down too, and they have to throw more than they do run though.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think with that, you just can't give you guys everything. Like, we can't give you the big chunk runs, and then because now once he fake it to Mike Sanders or Boston Scott or Gainwell, because you got like 12 running backs, whoever it is that he handed, you just do that with. You can just not worry about that.
Yeah.
And, that is, so you got to kind of you just got to withstand it. If they get down the field, get them with 3s. Like, because with us, you can't kick field goals with us. You got to score 7s because we're going to get to score 7. Yeah.
That's a fact. And the crazy part is a lot of people don't understand, like, Devontae Smith really is our offensive starter. Like, it really start and stop with Devontae Smith. Like, everything else really is just kind of like there. But when it's critical, when we need it, when for sure, this game on the line, you can bet your bottom dollar is going to Devontae Smith. And I feel like Devontae Smith, AJ was the best thing to happen to us, because AJ opened up Devontae in regards to him now working on the number 2 corner, and him giving the number two corner that work instead of the number 1, because we didn't have anybody else to go to, and everybody just kind of roll coverage his way. But now it ain't no rolling coverage that way. And also, with Goddard being hurt and Goddard kind of being back, it also put the middle of the field is now back open as well. You get what I'm saying? Like, so he got our first touchdown. Hell, he got our first touchdown against the Giants. And I really want us to target him a lot more. I want him to get 8 to 10 targets a game. And if he catch all of them, all right, cool. But I do want him to get those targets, because I feel like he's a top 3 tight end in the league. You know what I'm saying? Kelsey 1, Kittle 2, or however you want to give it to him. But I feel like he is number 3 in the league, me personally. You get what I'm saying? So I really want us to offensively, if you guys were to try to stop the run, Jalen Hurts can throw for 300 plus. He done did it. You know what I'm saying? 4 touchdowns. We done rushed for 250 at least 3 times this year. So whatever you're not good at, we're gonna attack. So, like you saying, so hey, if you feel like y'all don't have good cornerbacks, all right, we're gonna see what they made of. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the main thing. I feel like if we were to have this conversation again, hopefully y'all win, hopefully we win, and then we can have a better conversation, because there ain't no hypotheticals, it ain't no if, it ain't no none of that. It's all right. We here. Let's figure this out, man. But yeah, brother, man, I appreciate you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I definitely appreciate you coming on for that side, representing the AFC, representing your team, and coming on the show. You know what I'm saying? I know last time I said we had some technical difficulties, but you're here now. So tell the people where to find you at. Tell the people, you know what I'm saying, anybody that's listening out there in the world, tell them about yourself and how to get in contact with you.
Yeah, you can reach me on my socials at Instagram at King_Ron. I run a little on Facebook. You can find me as Pastor Maurice, because I speak the gospel on there. So, and that TikTok Entanglement Ron, and that's where you can find me at.
Right. Hey, so hey, if y'all want to catch this guy, man, he is a clown. He's funny as hell. Definitely, I'm gonna get his information, put it in the links at the bottom of this, show and everything else. But everybody, man, I appreciate y'all for listening. We just started this roughly about a month and a half ago, and we just trying to, get some traction and making this thing do what it do. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, brother. Hey,
all right.
On the next time on Philly Fan Sports, catch us. Peace.